Emily's New Adventure, her journey with Gaucher disease type 1. Emily lived with her family in a small town near Philadelphia. Emily was 8 years old, smart, daring, and full of energy. She had a loving family, her mother Gladys, father Frank, brother Zach, and sister Kate. And Emily's animated mascot. Emily enjoyed great adventures with Kate and Zach. Every day they rode their bikes into the woods to explore and have fun. In the biggest tree in the woods, their father built them a swing and a small treehouse. One day, Emily felt different. She was so tired that she just wanted to stay in bed. This worried her mother. It was not the first time she complained of being tired, but now Emily looked pale and thin.
Mommy, I don't feel good. My bones hurt.
When her mother began checking her, she found that Emily's belly was swollen and she had bruises that were not there before. Gladys immediately called their family doctor to advise him of Emily's condition and got an appointment. The next day, their doctor examined Emily and recommended she see Dr. Wayne, a specialist in Philadelphia. So Emily and her family headed to Philadelphia to see Dr. Wayne. Emily thought of these trips as great adventures. On this trip, she hoped Dr. Wayne could help her stop aching and being so tired.
He can help me. I bet he's the best doctor in the world.
The sights and sounds of the approaching city filled Emily with excitement. Tall buildings reached to the sky. People in all manner of dress were rushing from place to place. The scent of hot dogs from street vendors came drifting through the air.
Maybe I could eat a hot dog after we leave the doctor's office.
Emily loved to eat, but since she started feeling so badly, she could not eat very much. Soon, Emily and her family arrived at Dr. Wayne's office. Frank, Kate, and Zach sat in the waiting room, while Emily and her mother went down a hall to the examination room.
Oh.
The nurse gave Emily a gown to put on and helped her get on the examining table. Hello, Emily. I'm Dr. Wayne.
Doc?
Let's take a look at you and see if we can find out why you feel so badly.
My bones hurt. And I get nosebleeds for no reason. I'm too tired to play anymore. My belly is so big that I can't eat much. And I've got bruises everywhere.
Thank you, Emily. You did very well today. The nurse took a blood sample and x-rays of Emily. Dr. Wayne studied the x-rays. After examining Emily, her x-rays, and considering her symptoms, I think Emily has Gaucher disease type 1.
Can you fix Gaucher disease, Doc?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's treatable. If the blood tests are positive, we'll develop a plan to help you feel better and stop hurting. We'll have test results next week and can discuss the next steps. Before heading home, Emily and her family got some hot dogs from a street vendor. It was comforting to Emily to know that Dr. Wayne would be able to help her get better. Next week at Dr. Wayne's office, Emily and her mother and father were eager to hear what Dr. Wayne had to tell them about Emily's blood test. We have the test results and have confirmed that Emily does have a rather severe form of Gaucher disease type 1. There's no cure, but there are treatments that will make her feel better, help ease her symptoms, and even reverse some effects. Let's take a look at these graphics. People who have Gaucher disease don't have enough of an important enzyme in the body. That enzyme helps remove fat, also called lipids, from within the body's cells. This little character represents fat. Here is a normal cell. Without the fat-eating enzyme, the excess fat causes the cells to become too large. Let's see how this affects the liver and the spleen. When a person has the right amount of the important enzyme, the liver and spleen are just fine. When a person doesn't have enough of the enzyme, extra fat builds up in the cells in the liver and spleen. This causes them to grow too large. All of this extra fat prevents the organs from working the way they should. And when the liver and spleen get too big, it causes the belly to be too big. Just like Emily's. That's why she gets tired, has bruises, and feels like her tummy is full.
Can we fix that enzyme, Doc?